bottom line was that at the end of Hank's testimony and before Bang TV came in, Hank spoke of his desire to reach a settlement. And he said at first that he wanted money. Hank as the victim of the deepfakes, supposedly, and as the maybe co-victim of assault and stalking, which he claims, as if Youngman cared about him. He said he wanted like a monetary compensation. For example, who brought the baton? Who brought the baton to the fight? You know. Okay. Everybody knows that Hank brought the baton. It's obvious. He talks about the baton. He shows the baton on stream. The baton is in his apartment.
Guys, we got some breaking news. Johnny Somali just pressed charges through a counter lawsuit against one of the victims in his case, a Korean streamer named Youngman. And finally, Johnny Somali won the case. But you need to know, on one side, it's a big win for Johnny Somali, and on the other side, it was actually a tactic by Hank Yoo to get money. Yes, you heard that right. There's been a lot of controversy that Johnny Somali, Hank Yoo, and their lawyer had no other way to survive since they were already running out of money. So this was a calculated move, a counter lawsuit filed against a victim who's already in jail for violating South Korean law during a martial law situation. Youngman was even caught throwing stones in court, which is why he's now facing prison time. Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo took advantage of this situation because Youngman had no chance to fight back. So this video is really important because I'm going to reveal a lot of shady and secret tactics used by Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo. Let's keep watching. So based on the context, here's what you need to know. Johnny Somali pressed 3 charges against Youngman. One for distributing deepfakes, one for assault, and another for stalking.
For the deepfake. Then it was also for assault with a baton. So that was for that. And then obviously the last charge then was for stalking. So he has a deepfake charge, an assault with a baton.
Now this is where Hank Yoo's conspiracy and major role come in. The assault charge Johnny filed against Youngman actually comes from an incident where several Korean streamers attacked Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo.
무기 들었어, 이 개새끼야. 야, 내려놔. 경찰 불러. 야.
But in court, Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo gave a questionable statement. Johnny told the court that Youngman hit me with a baton. However, the real story is that Hank was the one who brought the baton, and Johnny knew it. Yet in court, Johnny claimed, I don't know who brought it. Later, according to Johnny's claim, Youngman took that same baton and attacked him, which became the basis for the assault charge.
For example, who brought the baton? Who brought the baton to the fight? You know.
Okay.
Everybody knows that Hank brought the baton. It's obvious. He talks about the baton. He shows the baton on stream. The baton is in his apartment. Johnny knows that baton very well. And they asked him who brought the baton. And he said, I don't know.
So on one side, we can clearly see that Johnny Somali was part of the conspiracy, lying about Hank Yoo's criminal activities, and together they pressed charges against Youngman. But the real tactics were later revealed. It turned out that Hank Yoo actually wanted money from the start. When he found out that the court was offering a settlement with Youngman, both Hank Yoo and Johnny Somali realized they could take advantage of the situation. That's how Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo used the opportunity to get one of Johnny's charges dropped from his list.
The bottom line was that at the end of Hank's testimony and before Bang TV came in, Hank spoke of his desire to reach a settlement. And he said at first that he wanted money. Hank as the victim of the deepfakes, supposedly, and as the maybe co-victim of assault and stalking, which he claims, as if Youngman cared about him. He said he wanted like a monetary compensation. Johnny, in his situation, all he wants is the deepfake charge from Youngman to be dropped. And they said they'll do anything. I'm willing to put this behind us if both sides will drop the charges.
So guys, as of now, Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo first tried to make a money deal, but later they reached a settlement where both sides agreed to drop their charges. This is definitely a win for Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo, because even if they didn't get any money from it, they still managed to reduce Johnny's overall charges and possible prison time. From this perspective, it's clearly a strategic victory for both of them. However, a new concern has now come up. What will be Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo's next move? There are rumors that they might press charges against Bong Bong next. So the big question is, if they file a counter lawsuit against Bong Bong, that also helped them get another one of Johnny's charges dropped.
So today was actually a big victory for Johnny because one of the deepfake charges have been dropped. Now, the next thing is, will the other deepfake charge get dropped? That's currently with Bong Bong. But Bong Bong has not been formally charged with anything as of now, at least.
As far as we know.
So Johnny doesn't actually have that leverage with her.
I think he said something very interesting. They asked him if he sued anybody else, or not, I shouldn't say sued, filed charges against anybody else, criminal charges against anybody else besides Youngman. And he said 1 or 2. I think the wording was very interesting. He said 1 or 2. And then he mentioned Yoo Dalgun, the assault case. He mentioned that one, but what did he not mention?
Bong Bong.
And why
So-
did he say? I'm reading between the lines here.
Of like
Thinking about-
one or two, so he's trying to press charges against
Yes.
Bong Bong, most
So
likely.
If it was going ahead against Bong Bong, I think the wording would have been two. Yu Dagun and Bong Bong.
Oh my god, guys. Did you hear that? What a tactic Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo are actually playing here. It's now being predicted that Johnny Somali is planning to file even more counter lawsuits against the victims. Whether or not they actually get money from it doesn't even matter, because on the other hand, each counter lawsuit gives them a chance to get more charges dropped from Johnny Somali's list. This could make things much easier for Johnny and Hank Yoo in their upcoming court trial. So yes, this looks like a major comeback for Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo, almost like a demonic win. And once again, Hank Yoo appears to be the mastermind behind it all, playing the main culprit's role. Remember, Hank Yoo has said before that he's willing to do anything, even twist legal strategies, just for money.
Were you trying to sue Legal Mindset? Somebody told me you were trying to sue him?
For defamation, yeah. Money!
Wait, so you're free speech?
But if I can extract money out of them, yeah, hell yeah, nigga. But.
So you admit that Legal Mindset, that guy has the right to say everything he says, but you see an opportunity to try and get some money, so you're like, fuck it, I need money or whatever.
Yeah.
And as you might remember, from the very beginning, Johnny Somali himself said that he could survive and would go back to America again soon.
And I'm going to show you that the Korean government is not going to do anything for me because I'm an American citizen, A. And B, the Korean legal system is not as strong as people think and perceive it to be.
I'm waiting. Either put me in a cell or deport me. Like, let's get it over with. I'm able to leave Korea with a fine or just a deportation.
So Hank Yoo might think that, well, if Johnny Somali goes to deportation soon, then he might get all his money back. But I just want to ask, will Johnny Somali actually go to deportation soon? But yes, it really looks like they're actually going in that direction. Because with Johnny Somali's next trial coming up, what we're seeing from Johnny and Hank Yoo right now is seriously concerning. It's becoming more and more clear that Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo are using shady tactics to escape any punishment by any means possible. The main strategy, however, seems to be coming from Hank Yoo. He's doing all of this for money and to create his own personal opportunities out of the legal chaos. And not only that, Hank also encouraged Johnny Somali's crimes. Johnny Somali committed all the crimes, and Hank would always say, "Don't take it seriously."
It's not supposed to be taken serious.
This is a joke. Don't take it seriously.
Look, I don't think I take anything serious that we do on stream.
By saying all this, it's clear that Hank and Johnny Somali committed a bunch of crimes together. But is Hank facing any consequences? No. Everything is falling under Johnny Somali's name. And here, as you've already seen, this was clearly one of Hank Yoo's tactics. When the baton was actually in Hank Yoo's hand, it clearly proved that he was the main culprit. But even after that, they managed to twist the story and make a false case. And by luck and strategy, they won that round. So, in reality, Hank Yoo is the mastermind. His main tactics are to protect Johnny Somali while also making money from the victims through these shady counter lawsuits. So guys, what do you think about this whole situation? Do you believe Johnny Somali and Hank Yoo are heading toward their biggest win yet in the next trial? Drop your thoughts below. I really want to know your perspective on this.